Political parties, as an important force behind human progress, need to set the right course forward and shoulder their historic responsibility to ensure the people's well-being and human progress. In my view, political parties need to work even harder on the following. First, we need to shoulder the responsibility to steer the course by seizing and shaping the shared future for mankind. People aspire to affluence and contentment. They yearn for fairness and justice. Great times call for grand architecture, and grand architecture calls for great vision. Viewed from the perspective of my country first, the world is a crammed and crowded place full of competition. Viewed from the perspective of a global community with a shared future, the world is a vast and broad place full of cooperation opportunities. We need to heed the voices of the people, follow the trend of the times, and strengthen coordination and cooperation. By doing so, the interests of the people of one country will be kept in line with those of all others, and humanity will move forward towards a shared future. Second, we need to shoulder the responsibility to build consensus by upholding and promoting the common values of humanity. Despite differences among countries in history, culture, institution, and level of development, the people aspire to the common values of humanity for peace, development, equality, justice, democracy, and freedom. With a strong sense of responsibility for the future of mankind, we need to champion the common values of humanity, understand with an open mind the values of different civilizations, and respect other people's explorations to turn values into reality. By doing so, the common values of humanity will be translated into the practice of individual countries to serve the interests of their own people in a concrete and realistic way. Third, we need to shoulder the responsibility to promote development by bringing greater benefits to all peoples in a fairer manner. Development holds the key to the people's well-being. On the road to the well-being of mankind, no country or nation should be left behind. All countries and nations are equally entitled to development opportunities and rise to development. We need to face squarely up to major problems such as wealth gap and development divide, with particular attention given to underdeveloped countries and regions and impoverished people so that hope prevails in every corner of the world. As an ancient Chinese philosopher observed that those who only seek comfort for themselves will ultimately be rejected, and those who sacrifice their own interests for the success of others will be supported. Development is the right of all countries, rather than a privilege of the few. We need to enable all countries to step up development cooperation, which is shared by all. We need to bring greater equality, higher efficiency, and stronger synergy to global development, and jointly oppose the practice of seeking technology blockade, technology divide, and decoupling. I believe that, in a final analysis, any political manipulation for the purpose of sabotaging the development of other countries and undercutting the livelihood of other peoples will receive little support and prove to be futile. Fourth, we need to shoulder the responsibility to enhance cooperation by working together to address global risks and challenges. In the face of the ongoing COVID-19, we need to continue with a science-based response approach and advocate solidarity and cooperation so as to close the immunization gap. We must approach the practice of politicizing the pandemic or labeling the virus. We need to work together to build a global community of health for all. In the face of terrorism and other common enemies of mankind, we need to pursue security and stability through cooperation so as to tighten the security fences together. In the face of the fragile ecological environment, we need to respect Mother Nature, follow her laws, and protect her so as to build a green homeland together. In the face of the severe challenges to human existence and development brought about by climate change, we need to be brave enough to take responsibilities and work as one to find a way of harmonious coexistence between man and nature. Fifth, we need to shoulder the responsibility to improve governance by enhancing our capacity to ensure people's well-being. There are different pathways towards well-being. People of all countries are entitled to choose their own development paths and institutional models. This in itself is what well-being entails. Democracy is the right of all peoples rather than an exclusive privilege of the few. There are multiple ways and means to realize democracy instead of a single stereotype. The judgment on whether a country is democratic or not should be made by their own people, not by the handful of others. To advance political democracy in a way that suits the national conditions of a country, we need to strengthen exchanges and mutual learning, improve mechanisms for communication, be fully aware of the public opinion, establish well-fledged institutions, and enhance our governance capacity. By doing so, our capacity and efficacy to ensure the people's well-being will be elevated continuously. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, working for the people's well-being has been the original aspiration of the Communist Party of China. With the goal of moderate prosperity in all respects achieved, China has embarked on a new journey towards building a modern socialist country. The Chinese people's sense of fulfillment, happiness, and security have been lifted. To run our own house well, ensure a happy life for the 1.4 billion plus Chinese people, and advance the lofty cause of promoting peace and development of mankind is the unswerving goal of the CPC. The CPC will continue to uphold the people-centered development philosophy, reflect upon the overarching issues of national rejuvenation and human progress in the greater context of time and space, and lead the Chinese people in creating an even better future through ceaseless pursuit and in an enterprising spirit. As history has taught us, we can only embrace the future when we embrace the world, and can only travel safe and sound when we walk together. The CPC stands ready to work with world political parties to live our dreams and act to create a better future. Let us always be builders of world peace, advocates of global development, and guardians of the international order. The CPC will unite and lead the Chinese people to press ahead with the Chinese-style modernization and contribute to humanity's search for ways to modernize. Proceeding from reality in everything it does, the CPC has led the Chinese people in finding, through trial and error, the path of socialism with Chinese characteristics. History and practice have proven and will continue to prove that this is not only the correct path that works, but also the sure path that pays off. We will unswervingly follow this bright path to ensure that development is pursued for both our own good and the benefits of the world. There doesn't exist a one-fits-all path to modernization. The one that suits you well will serve you well. cutting one's feet to fit the shoes will lead nowhere. The efforts of all countries to independently explore the path to modernization that fits their national conditions should be respected. The CPC is willing to share with world political parties our modernization experience to enrich each other's box tools to modernization so as to bring well-being to their own people and all other peoples. The CPC will unite and lead the Chinese people to advance reform and open up and contribute to shared development and prosperity of all countries. Currently, economic globalization, despite considerable headwinds, is still moving forward with great impetus. On the whole, the impetus prevails over the headwinds. The trend towards opening up and cooperation remains unchanged and will not change. The CPC is ready to enhance communication with world political parties and steer economic globalization towards greater openness, inclusiveness, balance, and win-win results.
کمیونسٹ پارٹی چائنا اور عالمی سیاسی جماعتوں کی سربراہ کانفرنس اس وقت جاری ہے۔ ورچوئل سمٹ سے چینی صدر شی جن پنگ خطاب کر رہے ہیں۔ وزیر اعظم عمران خان بھی کمیونسٹ پارٹی چائنا کے ورچوئل سمٹ میں شریک ہیں اور چینی صدر نے کہا کہ دنیا کو کووڈ جیسی عالمی وبا، ماحولیاتی تبدیلیوں، تنازعات کے باعث خطرات کا سامنا ہے۔ سیاسی جماعتوں پر انسانوں کا مستقبل سنوارنے کے لیے مشترکہ ذمہ داری عائد ہوتی ہے اور چینی صدر نے کہا کہ ہم انصاف، برابری اور ترقی کے مشترکہ نظام پر یقین رکھتے ہیں۔ وزیر اعظم عمران خان بھی اس ورچوئل سمٹ میں شریک ہیں۔ وزیر اعظم عمران خان بھی اس ورچوئل سمٹ سے خطاب کریں گے، ہم آپ کو براہ راست دیے جائیں گے۔ PTV نیوز سے یہ تھی تازہ ترین